Today we'll be focusing on designing the studio in mine and my husband's house. I've wanted to be able to give his room a makeover for weeks now, and I believe that now is the time to give Jimmy Tries World a studio that will be the studio of his dreams. Now, designing a room for anyone is a bit scary, to be honest. I'm a people pleaser, and the one thing I don't want to happen is a trading spaces moment where the people I designed for are angry at me, and nothing is more embarrassing than that. I've been looking forward to this day for a very long time. Jimmy has been a hard worker for the many years I've known him. He's worked hard in college, and he's also been an incredible worker on YouTube. When we were looking for places to live, I wanted to be able to give him that space, a place for him to film and to explore his own creative interests. And who's to say that place couldn't be pretty? So before I show you what we both did to make this space his own, we're going to go over some of the things he wants in his room. I want to know someone's design language. Are they an old soul that likes vintage furniture and traditional pieces? Or are they futuristic and want a space that looks like something Elon Musk made for fun? It all depends on the person, which is why we will be discussing it together in order to be on the right page.
I have a YouTube channel that's primarily focused on technology, that I tell lame jokes and give my opinions on technology, whether they're warranted or not.
The first question I have for you is, what kind of style do you want for your studio?
I do have a full-time job, right? And because of that, I can't have a dedicated space just for YouTube, since normally that requires you set things up and leave it and then you're done. But in this situation, I kind of need a very versatile space that can be utilized for many functions, but at the same time I don't want it to look like a full-blown studio, because after all, this is, well, in our house, right? Yeah. And since it's in our house, we don't want it to look like a freaking mess.
No, we don't want it to be like the media room right now, which is completely messy. So you want something that's more versatile, can turn into a studio space when you need it, and also an office that you work from home. Are there any colors that you want?
Shay's gonna hate me for saying this.
Oh my gosh.
The one thing I really enjoyed about my studio space, or my bedroom, before we moved in together, was I had this very dark wall. It was a dark gray.
Yeah, dark gray. It was like almost like a graphite kind of color.
When we moved into this house, that was something I felt like I was missing. Whenever I was recording videos, just having a plain white wall felt so boring. I know, right? Plain white wall, super boring.
Yeah, this is our wall currently. So you want another dark wall? Yeah. So how do you want your room to be laid out? Is there particular shelving that you want?
So initially when I started YouTube, again, I was doing it out of my bedroom in my parents' place. A struggle I found was I would have a desk where I do all my work, right? That same desk would then be turned around later that night to be used to make product shots for my YouTube videos. And that would be a mess on itself, right? I'd have to take things off, take all my work stuff off, clear the desk, and then it could be used. But what I'm thinking in this new space is I have two dedicated desks, right? One desk that's for where I do anything related to computers, whether that be working from home or editing YouTube videos, and then a second desk to then be utilized as the primary desk for product shots. While desks are nice, right? Sitting in office chairs all day isn't the most comfortable feeling in the world, and sometimes you need something more laid back. Like, I like to slouch a lot. Like ideally, if we were doing this video, I want to sit like this. But, you can't sit like that while you're working. It's not good for you. Maybe a dedicated sitting area would be ideal for this space as well.
Is there anything you want to focus on? Is there a certain aspect of room design that you want to focus on? Like, are we gearing more towards storage? Are we gearing towards more of a design aspect? Or did you want to focus more on practicality?
Again, I think in this situation, I kind of have to re-emphasize versatility. Right, having enough storage space for everything, but at the same time, I don't want to focus the whole thing on storage space. We do have a closet in this room, and that closet can be used for a lot of storage.
On that closet, it's also kind of narrow, so I know it's a little bit harder to get tripods out and everything like that. So we'll try to find a good storage solution for you. What do you not want in your design?
I'm not a traditional guy. I don't like traditional styling. But in the same vein, I wouldn't say I'm a complete minimalist either. I aim for a minimalist design, but like I've said on my channel before, I'm not a minimalist. I like the minimalist aesthetic. That being said, I can't keep things completely clean all the time during work hours and stuff like that. You know, during the week, I get kind of messy. So aim for minimalism, but not minimalist. I think that describes me.
I can work with that. Yeah.
Can you though?
Yes, I can. Yes, I can. I've known you long enough.
Can you though? Can you though?
Yes. Okay, so we went through all the 5 questions that I had created for Jimmy to answer from us today. So is there any other closing thoughts before you say goodbye to everyone today?
Yeah. I'll just reemphasize what Shay said. I'm a little indecisive, so everything she's planning out, I might just go, no, I don't like that. And then we end up mixing things up until, 5 years later, I'm fully satisfied.
Yeah, so I'm always prepared with Jimmy. So, Jimmy, you can go ahead and say farewell.
You're kicking me out? You're kicking me out of my own house.
Yeah.
I'm in basketball shorts, everyone.
Like you always film with the basketball shorts.
People don't know that.
They know it now. Bye. Now that we finally have some idea into what Jimmy wants for his room, this is where the magic happens. Like we did before in the pink room, we're going to try and draw out this space. The first thing I'm going to draw out is my view from the wall nearest the door looking towards his window. In the interview, Jimmy wanted a studio/chill space, something that isn't entirely dedicated to filming. How I view that is having like a little nook in the corner, right about here, with a cozy chair and a shelf to display some of his tech. Then I need to come up with an interesting way to hide some of his camera gear. The closet we have is nice, but it is a bit narrow because this is a bedroom originally and it's not designed for tripods. Of course, I can also try to put in a cabinet unit in cool colors, but cabinets can take up space and are expensive. However, there's always another way. Jimmy has told me about a lot of creators getting tool chests as ways to store equipment they use for filming, and to be fair, it doesn't sound too bad. Think about it like this. There's usually plugs on them for tools, and from the ones I see in store, there's always padding in the drawers, which is a major plus. Jimmy loves taking care of his equipment items to a 10th degree. So I'll keep this in mind despite the fact they are insanely expensive. Moving on from the storage problem, Jimmy didn't mention one thing that we planned on putting in his room, and that's a standing desk. Before filming this, Jimmy had bought a pair of standing desk legs, but not a desktop. Reason was he wanted something a bit more custom. We're planning on using a tabletop from IKEA, specifically the Carlby in a walnut-like finish, and this is an excellent choice. From there, we will add a few more accessories and a new coat of paint, which is a subject we can't agree on. In the interview, Jimmy was wanting another dark accent wall. What he didn't say was a black wall. I'm not a huge fan of that, honestly. Many reasons why, but if I were to give 2, it would be that 1, it would look like a black box theater, and 2, it would shrink a space. Dark colors tend to do that, but in this instance, I'll humor him. I'll test it out in the room and we'll see if I'm right or wrong. And that's where I'm leaving off this part of the video. I can't wait to really dig into this project for Jimmy, and I can't wait to see the finished product. All right, so let's just fast forward a couple of weeks and you guys will see the ultimate finished product.
I'm buzzing, let's drink up. Your death look like big fun. Come on, let's get it on. Like that Marvin Gaye song. I'm stunning, you love it. Come on, give me something. I know that you want it. Come on, give me something. The night is young and so are we. So maybe you should leave with me. The night is young and so are we, baby. The night is young, so let's have some fun. If you love me right, yeah, this could
This is the result of planning and experimenting with colors and furniture pieces that resulted in Jimmy's new studio space. It's been an interesting journey, and I've had fun planning this with Jimmy every step of the way. We've had a few changes to our ideas a few times, but at the end of this project, we created this wonderful space to work in, relax in, and film in. I've never decorated a guy's space before, and I'd like to think I did pretty well in creating this for Jimmy. So without further ado, let's take a look around at some of the pieces and bumps in the road that we had along the way. Unfortunately, the Carl B countertop has been completely sold out in the Houston IKEA that we both go to. So we had to find another way to get the countertop that he wanted. Jimmy came to the decision that he'd want to get like a butcher block countertop from like Home Depot or something. But I remembered that my parents had actually recently disassembled a kitchen island that once belonged to my grandmother that also had a butcher block countertop. Luckily, they hadn't done anything with it yet, and we asked if we could have it for Jimmy's desk. We sanded it down, stained it, and even gave it a nice protective coat. And by we, I mean my mom, who's more handy than anyone I know. We placed the wooden top on the pair of standing legs, which wasn't too difficult, but it was pretty heavy, and it looks insanely good. I know when Jimmy has his friends over, they automatically go towards that desk like a moth to a flame. It's so nice, and all I had to do was pay for the legs of the standing desk. The next part of our room makeover journey was painting the walls in Jimmy's room. I was kind of a bit nervous about the black wall Jimmy wanted for his room. I didn't think it'd be nice to look at, and I thought it would make it feel smaller, but Jimmy was very clear that he really, really wanted it. So I let him have it this one time. We went around to several stores in the area and got a bunch of samples from places like Lowe's, Ace Hardware, Home Depot, you name it. And we used these really handy plastic sheets that you can like stick on your wall without the risk of painting your walls. Instead, you paint on the sheet, then you let it dry, and then you stick it on the wall like a post-it. And we ended up using black ink by Benjamin Moore as his color for that one black wall he wanted. As for the other walls, those were in the paint color Chantilly Lace, which was also by Benjamin Moore. It took about a day and a half to finish the room, but once it was done, I have to admit, I had to eat my words because this room looks absolutely fantastic. The bold transition from light to dark looks stunning, and it's just the right amount of subtle as a showstopper. As far as storage goes, we had tons of fun with that. First, we had this beautiful bookcase from Target. It's relatively inexpensive and comes in 3 different shelf colors. There is a ladder version that screws into the wall if you want that, and it's cheaper too. In his closet, we've added a few storage pieces like the IKEA Scottish pegboards. These are really cheap, very popular since they come in a variety of colors, sizes, accessories to make your pegboard your own. On his Scottish, he's been using like storage containers and straps to hold his smaller equipment, making use of that narrow closet to the best of his abilities. And finally, we have this exceptionally large Husky tool chest, which, yes, I did decide it was a good idea, and I did end up buying it. Basically, me and Jimmy wanted this to be specifically so he could store his camera equipment, which there is a lot of, and there have been many times that we've had to reorganize the closet in his room to become more efficient. The tool chest is just more functional in this space. It works as a product workbench and storage for equipment that's fragile, since the drawers have built-in mats to help minimize damage. It looks well in the room despite it being a piece most people put in their garages. Honestly, this is a great piece for anyone to use, and I highly recommend it if you need something like it in your place. In his corner spot of his room, he actually has a lounge chair that we got from West Elm. This one is the Lucas swivel chair, and it's probably one of the more expensive pieces in this room. It's around about $1,300, $1,400 if you're really into this style of chair and you don't mind getting it in fabric rather than the leather. The Ekana set from IKEA has similar mid-century vibes for only $200. Besides that, we decorated the space out with ambient lighting, sheer linen curtains, and a throw blanket just in case. I was so happy to really give Jimmy a place to work in. He really is super generous and patient with me, and he works so hard that I really wanted our newest place to feel like a home. I know this is a completely different look from the pink room, but I love it just as much. We want to continue to make over our home, and I can't wait to get to the main rooms of the house, and I'm eager to go back to the drawing board and create more beautiful spaces. So, what did you all think? Do you think Jimmy's studio is a design you could vibe with, or is it a little too minimal? I'd love to hear what you designers have to say. Remember to like and subscribe to see more videos from an amateur designer like me, and I will see you all next time. Bye for now.